I'm gonna let Jennifer figure it out. I gave her permission to write on my phone.
Trying to give her a second. Coming in,
Oh, cool. Who's here?
Miriam.
Ah, I wasn't looking, I was grumbling about this income tax form.
Yeah, he was stuck in traffic on the way.
Ah.
He's coming from the doctor's appointment. Hey, good evening. How are you? Wonderful.
Evening, everyone.
How are you?
Why do you always laugh?
You ready? Okay, I will call the regular meeting for Tuesday, February 15th, 2022 to order. The time is 6:32. Everybody please rise for a moment of silence, followed by pledge of allegiance. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item is consent agenda. Reading of the minutes of the previous meetings. December 7th, 2021 work session special meeting. December 14th, 2021 regular meeting. January 4th, 2022 regular meeting. January 18th, 2022 regular meeting, and then financial reports for December 2021 and January 2022. I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve the consent agenda as read. Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
We do just want to know, we apologize for the delay in getting the financial reports out to you. That was due to an error with the new payroll system that we're with and getting that data transcribed. So we weren't able to get those numbers out to you. So apologize for the delay in that. We'll make sure that doesn't happen in the future to get it in a more timely manner.
Thank you.
Is there anything specific or, I mean, is it just business as usual? Is there anything out of the ordinary that we need to be made aware of?
No.
Not that I can think of.
Okay. All right, would you poll the council?
Place 1,
Aye.
place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6,
Aye.
mayor,
Aye.
motion carries.
Next item, citizens' comments. We have none, so moving on to item 6 is presentation. Public hearing to hear citizens' comments related to the city of Everman and Tarrant County 2022 CDBG 48th year project proposal, item 22075.
Mayor, if you would like to just call the public hearing to order in the time,
What's that?
call the public hearing to order in the time. For the-
Okay,
For the minutes.
so we'll call public hearing on this item to order. The time is
6:34.
6:34.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is the CDBG 2022 project. Our city engineer is on his way. He was a few minutes behind. He got stuck in traffic on the way down. But I'm going to go ahead and brief you as well as the public on this real quick, and we'll hear any citizens' comments, Mayor, if there are any. This is a project that is going to be located on Race Street. We are going to start this project on, it'll start at Edon Avenue and continue down to just north of Vaden. This is going to be a water line replacement project where we upgrade the current existing 6-inch water main to a 12-inch water main. This is phase one of what we hope to be multiple phases in the area. I got you a seat right over there, Greg. You up front on the spotlight.
Good evening.
Lovely traffic, isn't it?
This is-
The record to December 20.
This is hopefully going to be the first of many CDBG projects where we begin to focus in the area. Like we've talked about on Christie, Race, Vaden, not only looking to improve the infrastructure in that area, but also working and developing plans associated with water runoff, stormwater management, as well as roadway. First phase is going to be to fix the underground infrastructure before we look to do that roadway in particular. So this is that first step. Associated with this project, just to share some of the numbers with you, Greg's office has already submitted the application to the county on this. The total estimated cost comes in at $290,234.06. Of that, $165,000 of that is assumed CDBG 2022 award funds. So that's what the county is going to cover. City paid design, engineer, as well as city leveraging amount comes out to $61,976.91 plus $22,856.62. So the city is looking to be on the hook utilizing our funds in the amount of around $85,000 to make this happen. Greg, do you have anything to add on to this? Brief description that I'm giving here.
You did it. When we put this water line in, we'll be running it, stub outs on all these side streets so that we can continue the rehab in that neighborhood, that South Race neighborhood, without having to go back to this line and tap it. So
Now, we're talking stormwater,
No, we're
This is
talking water line replacement.
water line.
Water line
Okay.
replacement.
Where are we getting $85,000 for our portion?
This will come out of either A, bond proceeds, B, ARPA funds, or C, water reserve fund. We have three different options here when it comes time to funding. Once this grant's awarded, we'll come back to you with recommendations on how to fund that. But I'm not concerned about being able to fund that from what we've got.
Okay,
It's going to be a necessary project. And if we do not contribute funds towards this project, we lose points and we'll ultimately lose part of that funding. if we don't.
understood. I'm just concerned about what pot you're gonna get that money out of.
Yes, ma'am. We'll bring back recommendations on how to do that once this is approved by a county and they've approved it to move forward.
Will this also include what we had discussed previously, where it would be the opening for the water to drain off the streets?
So yeah, that's going to be part of the overall project that we're looking to do here with the rehabilitation in this neighborhood. But that's not part of this specific CDBG project. We're going to start with this water line replacement project first. Greg is already working and his office is already working on developing plans and estimated costs and things moving forward for the stormwater management to get that water off of the roadways and into the creeks and improve drainage. That's coupled with what we will see when we get the results from the flood study that is currently underway between the county and COG and transportation. So they're doing that study. Those results will be shared with us. We'll share those results with Greg, compile all that information and come back and address the overall flooding issue in that area, try to get it off the roadways. But we have to spend these funds annually or every other year, actually. And if we don't get this project on the books to start some sort of improvement, we're going to lose out on the CDBG opportunity here.
No, we can't do that. That's money.
So Greg has made the recommendation that we use CDBG funds on the water lines. He said that's the best use of those funds. It'll get us the most bang for our buck with that money.
we'll get the most for the money on CDBG job water lines.
Okay, cool.
Have they started the flood study?
They're pretty close to it if they haven't already.
Okay, because I hadn't heard anything yet. so-
Yeah, they should be pretty close to it if they haven't already.
Okay.
Only about
40
40 years behind.
What was that?
The flood study from transportation, RTC and COG in Tarrant County. Before you open up for citizens' comments, I did, there are some gentlemen here from the school district, including the assistant superintendent, and I don't want to mess up your title, Glenn. Is it director of
Everything.
Director of maintenance here. I did speak with the superintendent because this will cause an impact to the school, Bishop Elementary located there. And there were a couple of concerns that she raised that I've already spoken with Greg about. We're going to try to work that into the contract whenever we put this out for bid and award this contract. Those concerns is we want to make sure that they have good communication and timeline with the school district. So the school district is fully aware of what's happening and when it's going to be happening and what that schedule is.
Yes.
The second is a good traffic management plan, because most recent experiences have indicated that they have not done a very good job of that.
Right.
So we're going to write that into the contract and make sure that we pass that off. Greg's already aware of that and be working on that when we look to bid this out.
Okay.
So aside from those two concerns, I don't know if the gentlemen have any other concerns that they'd like to share, but Mara, other than that, I think we're good for any public comment on this if you have any.
Okay, so we'll open up the floor for public comment. Seeing that we have none.
Good.
We got 6 people here and nobody wants to make a comment.
All right, so I'll close the public hearing.
Time?
Next item is discussion.
What
item.
time? What time?
Oh,
6:41.
all these times.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6:41. All right. Next time, discussion items, item A, instant briefing, school incident that occurred on February 10th, 2022. Craig Spencer, item 22079.
Wanted to take the opportunity because the questions have been posed. So I just want to take the opportunity to brief council on the incident that occurred on February 10th, last Thursday at the school district. Shortly before 1 o'clock, a robbery was committed in the parking lot of Family Dollar. They were not robbing the Family Dollar store. It was an offer up exchange. They had arranged a meeting within the parking lot of Family Dollar when the subjects robbed the individual in the parking lot. Shortly after Fort Worth police arrived, they determined that the suspects appeared to have been high school age, and they contacted us and notified us of that. Our officers got in the area and immediately notified the school and our school resource officers, and the high school was then placed into a hold. Hold is not a lockdown. There's a difference between a hold and a lockdown. Hold is essentially the building is secure and nobody can come from the outside into the school. Our officers, we had 2 school resource officers on the campus at the time. Fort Worth PD then shared photographs of those individuals. School resource officer on the high school campus showed those photographs to the interim principal at the school. The principal was able to immediately identify those 2 individuals and confirm that they were on the campus. So the campus, we did not, and I'm just being fully transparent here, the campus at that point was not placed on lockdown, and it was intentionally not placed on lockdown. And that is because we did not want to alert these suspects who were armed inside the school that police were en route to get them. However, there did not seem to be any continuing threat or immediate danger to anybody other than them being armed with a weapon on the campus. The interim principal at the school did a phenomenal job of immediately locating or determining the locations of those actors inside the school. One of them happened to have been in a cafeteria that was crowded at the time. It would not have been a smart tactical decision for law enforcement to storm a cafeteria with 300 plus children inside. So the interim principal at the time made the decision and volunteered to go in there, make contact with this individual and have him step out into the lobby or into the hallway where law enforcement took him into custody. After that, he then led police to the location of the second suspect who we knew had a firearm on him. He is the one that we knew had the gun on him. That individual was in a classroom with close to 30 other students. Police did storm the classroom, take the suspect into custody immediately, and did recover a loaded firearm from him. Immediately after that, we worked very closely with the school district, and they did a phenomenal job of having counselors there immediately within minutes after that took place to make contact with those students, the parents, and any staff that may have wished to talk with them, to explain the situation, talk it over, and then provide those resources to those students. The suspects cannot be identified. They are juveniles and therefore legally cannot be identified. That will not be released. However, I can tell you that the individual with the firearm was arrested and transported to JDC and charged with a couple of different offenses on that day. Fort Worth Police Department is handling the robbery case, and the Everman Police Department is handling the firearm on a school case. That's where we're currently at. I do plan on commending the interim principal. The superintendent has granted me the ability to come before the school board next week and provide him with a citizen commendation because of his actions. Had it not have been for his quick actions, we would not have been able to identify or get these individuals into custody. So we plan on commending him at the next school board meeting on the 22nd at 5:30. Any questions?
I was listening to it and y'all did excellent job.
Thank
I
you.
could tell a difference in the tone in your voice when you realized that he was on campus with a gun. But it was excellent. They did wonderful.
Craig, I mean, I'll voice it again, that he shouldn't have been able to get back into school with a gun.
Mhm.
The security is not what should be at school. And that ain't right. He
I
should
kn-
not have got back in the building.
I know that the school district is working on that. We've got the school safety committee meeting. I have a feeling that will probably be a topic to be discussed at the next one. So I also serve on that board, so I'm sure it'll come up. I do not, there's never going to be a perfectly secure facility, and that's hard to achieve. So I do think the school district is working towards trying to find the best way to do that. And we'll continue to work with them as best as we can and offer any resources that we can to be there for them.
Good job.
So we'll drop down to item B, TCEQ municipal setting designation application, Consolidated Consulting Group LLC, Jude Havens, principal. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Craig Spencer, item 22076, and Mr. Havens is here.
So Mr. Havens reached out to the city of Everman. He is wishing to apply for an MSD application, which essentially means that he is developing or looking, or his customer is looking to develop a piece of property. He works for a consulting group, or he owns, I guess, a consulting group. His client is looking to develop a piece of property that was previously utilized as a gravel mining facility, and there were some unregulated landfill activities that occurred at this site. Therefore, there may be potentially some contaminants within the ground and so forth. The site is enrolled in a TCEQ voluntary cleanup program. As a part of that program, when they look to develop this property, they must seek MSD applications and authorizations from any water source within, I believe it's 5 miles. We happen to fall underneath that category. He's reached out to us requesting that we pass a resolution or an ordinance authorizing them as an MSD, which we most certainly can. But obviously this needs to come before you because there's always going to be questions. Mr. Havens is here tonight to answer those questions because I think he's going to be the best source to answer any questions that you may have regarding this site. There is a handout with a presentation that he submitted to you.
Yeah.
It's there in front of you. I know it's very lengthy. I did send this out by email as well. The majority of the details are just on the first 4 pages. Everything following that is just supporting documentation. The last couple of pages in the back are the model resolution that Fort Worth adopted. This development is occurring within the city of Fort Worth. It is not occurring within the city of Everman, and the city of Fort Worth did authorize an MSD on it. It's going to be occurring off of 35 between Everman Parkway and Riesinger Road. In here, I believe he highlighted the exact distance, but we're roughly 2 miles away from our closest water well sites. We did have our Director of Public Works, Gilbert Ramirez, review this. He doesn't see any reason why we should preclude an MSD being designated here and recommended that we do authorize that. What I'll be looking for tonight after you pose your questions is just a consensus from the council on to move forward with this application. If so, I will have our city attorneys draft the ordinance and we will get an official city engineer review done on it to make sure that we're good. And then I'll bring it back to you during the March 1st meeting for potential adoption.
I just have a couple quick questions.
Yeah.
From what I read, it's 6 acres and it's contaminated already.
The entire property that's enrolled in the voluntary cleanup program is 6 acres. the area of the contamination is approximately 3,500 square feet.
Okay. And now, is there any mitigation that has to take place to try to
So
clean up before they?
for the mitigation for the groundwater contamination is the MSD, municipal setting designation. And what that is it's a legal restriction that just Fort Worth has already passed an ordinance saying you cannot use this groundwater. And so there's a formal restriction in the form of an ordinance. And now the next step is for us to submit that ordinance with our application to TCEQ. And that's where they require us to get resolutions of support. It doesn't have to be an ordinance. It can just be a resolution from any public supplier or private utility within 5 miles of the site. So the MSD will be the approach that we use to address the groundwater. And then there will be some soils that have concentrations of contamination above the commercial land use action levels, and those will be remediated. And then after that, there's a deed restriction placed on the property. So it follows the chain of title of the property. So all future owners know that there is contamination at the property. The final product from the TCEQ is what's called a certificate of completion. That certificate of completion says that the site has been adequately addressed to the satisfaction of the TCEQ, and it releases the current landowner and future landowners from liability associated with that previously identified contamination. A little bit more information if you care to
Please.
listen about the difference or the water wells and the potential impact. The groundwater zone that we're talking about that's impacted at the site is approximately 15 to 25, 30 feet below ground surface. Your water wells, the shallowest one is 500 feet. Some of them are over 1,300 feet. And in between those two water bearing zones, we've got hundreds of feet of shale bedrock and tight clays. So there's no connection between the two water bearing zones.
So there's no danger to our water?
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
Okay,
No, ma'am. And then in addition, the site is almost due west of your wells, and the groundwater flows to the northeast. So your wells would be considered cross gradient from the contamination.
okay. We got enough problems with water.
I heard.
No,
So this is
Yeah.
just to notify us of what you guys are fixing to do.
Correct.
It's just
We're
it's a
notifying you,
requirement.
but then also we need to have a resolution of support from, or a non-opposition from any supplier within that 5 mile radius.
Okay.
okay,
As long as it don't affect our wells and stuff.
Exactly.
we're
Go
good.
for it.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments?
What do you know what the development is going to be?
So they're currently developing it with all these warehouses. I'm sure you've seen them when you drive down 35.
more warehouses.
Yeah, there's a lot of jobs in those warehouses though, and at least these are off the highway.
Yeah, but they're not Everman jobs.
Well, but they're jobs for
Look
people who
empty.
live in Everman.
I don't see a whole lot of business in there. They all look empty, except for the Amazon place.
They're leasing them up quickly.
Oh,
They really are.
We're just teasing. That's
I
no,
understand.
we're not teasing.
No, hey, I'd love to bring some warehouse development to Everman. It'd be great. Any other
Well, thank you.
questions?
Yeah, Mayor, if there's no other questions, and if I can just if council's in consensus with us moving forward, I'll send this to the attorneys to draft the ordinance, and then we'll
We have
get
consensus?
Greg to do an official engineer review on it.
Yes.
Linda?
Okay.
Okay,
Johnny? Kelly? I think we're
Yep.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
Then we'll-
Thank you all very much. I appreciate your
You're
time.
welcome,
Thank you.
sir.
Glad to bring this back
Have a
on
good
March 1st.
evening.
Thank you so much. Only if you want to. No, you don't have to. I understand.
All right.
Okay, next item C, interlocal agreement between the city of Everman, Texas and the city of Kennedale, Texas for rabies control and the shared use of the city of Everman animal shelter, item 22081.
We've talked about this item a few different times. This is an interlocal agreement. Currently, the city of Kennedale is in an agreement with the city of Fort Worth for use of their animal control facility. That's essentially where they take their animals to. We're not taking over their animal control operation. They are just asking us to partner with them for the use of our animal shelter. After several in-depth conversations with their chief, I think this is a great opportunity for our agencies to be working together. We continue to see an increase in animal control activity and call volume and things that they have to deal with. We have 2 full-time animal control officers. So anytime we have an after hours call out, the city's having to pay overtime for an individual to go out. My hope within this and what we're looking to achieve through this is shared scheduling where we can work with the city of Kennedale when maybe our ACOs are on vacation or may not be available. Their ACOs would be able to step up and help us out. That would be a shared relationship, just like any other mutual aid agreement with another entity. I think this is the start of a good relationship. We're starting to possibly look at maybe doing something similar to this with Forest Hill as well. Those conversations have started, and having a tri-city emergence of animal control, I think would be highly beneficial to all municipalities involved, lowering our costs and expenditures down and having the amount of coverage that we truly need when it relates to animal control.
And some goodwill between the cities.
And some goodwill between the cities. This did go before the Animal Control Advisory Board, who's also here. And we've talked about this fairly in depth, and I do believe this is the way to go. The agreement was originally drafted and sent to the city of Kennedale. The city of Kennedale, it was presented to their city council. There was some slight opposition related to this based upon the fact that we are not listed as a no-kill shelter. I have since had meetings with them to explain that we cannot be listed as a no-kill shelter. However, it is our policy that we only put animals down when absolutely necessary. That means that they are deemed vicious, dangerous, unadoptable, and unable to be recovered, or if that animal is injured beyond a point to where they can be rehabilitated. Those are the only times that we put any animal down. Therefore, we can't be classified as a no-kill shelter because that occasion does arise. So it's rare, but it does. Our staff at the animal control is very good about getting these animals adopted out. They are very caring for the animals, and they do a phenomenal job of taking care of the animals that they can bring in and finding a home for them. If they're not able to get them adopted out locally, they have wonderful relationships with all the humane societies and partnerships and different groups in the area, and we'll work with them to get those animals out. As far as cost goes between us and the city of Kennedale, I had proposed, and it's included in this agreement, that we would only look to recover any cost associated with the housing of that animal. So any food, medications, those sorts of things, we would not look to turn this into an enterprise venture of any kind and charge them. That's what they're trying to get out of right now, because it's frankly hurting their budget. They did agree that when we look to do any facility improvements and those sorts of things, that they would be willing to partner with us on it when necessary. And I think that's a benefit to us as well. So any questions?
Is this not in reference to what we talked before about getting this agreement with them? Is this in relation to that?
Yes, it is.
Are we just now approving that from the last conversation that we had?
Yes, because it's gone back and forth over at City of Kennedale a little bit. And
Got it.
I had to do some clarification on and definition on the no kill.
Is their ACO officer back on duty?
No, he is still out due to a knee injury.
Wow.
So we're still helping them
So
out.
we have the time just strictly between 8 and 4.
No, we'll do it after hours too
After
for
hours too?
emergencies.
Okay.
If it's a non-vicious, just loose animal, typically our animal control will not go out. But if it's a vicious animal or
Mhm.
if it's a deceased animal that needs to be recovered, those sorts of things,
Right.
yes, they will come out after hours.
And we have the staff to do this?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, we do.
So if that takes place in another city, are they going to cover that cost?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, this will not have any adverse budget impact to our budget at all. We're not looking to increase expenditures in this department whatsoever. My hope is to actually lower our expenditures if we can. Through employee payroll and limiting overtime and those sorts of things.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll drop down to consideration possible action. Item A, approve Open Gov statement of work and order agreement as presented and authorizing city manager to execute all agreements associated. Item 22074. Entertain a motion.
I move, go ahead, Kelly.
I'll make a motion to approve item 22074.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
I do just want to highlight, this is just the statement of work and agreement with OpenGov to move forward with what council authorized the ARPA funds to be allocated for. Ms. Mackey, I don't know if you had an opportunity to read it, but it actually came in less than what was originally allocated.
Yes.
So I thought you might like that. Total for professional services came out to $129,500. The original allocation that council approved was $145,000.
Oh, saved a few bucks there.
So yes, ma'am, we're coming in under there. We have had a couple meetings with OpenGov already. Have highlighted what staff felt like was most important to them and getting the implementation rolling, and they are ready to move forward on this right away. So if council approves this tonight, I will sign the agreements and get that back to them tomorrow, and we can expect to begin that work here in just the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, is that including the annual subscription?
That does not include the annual subscription. That is something that we'll have to continue to include in our budget, but we are paying annual subscription fees currently already. There's a slight increase, but it's not anything that's causing us to have any concern with the budget.
What, okay, this on page 39 says, we get a discount of 15% for the current annual subscription spending of 29,000.
I'm trying to pull up the page number you're on. You said page
39. Maybe I'm reading something different.
Maybe that one. Hold on. The third one's the charm. I'm looking for the right attachment. I apologize. So these numbers the numbers that you're looking at right there were actually presented to us back when we started to allocate the funds for ARPA. So that was much earlier in the year. So yes, that percentage is lower, but they do prorate the amount that we're already paying into the number of the annual subscription fee.
So
But
how much are we paying?
You remember offhand what the fee is a year? Are you with OpenGov?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
You gave me a head nod. I walked in.
well, no, I haven't actually seen your face, so we always talk on the phone. Andrew's here with OpenGov. Hi, Andrew.
Welcome, Andrew.
I thought you saw him over there.
No,
Sorry. I did.
my apologies. Well, here, come on up. I don't want to leave you out. Come on up, Andrew. Do you happen to remember what the number was?
The exact number, no, it's just over 47,000. So,
47,000 total.
yes, sir. Mayor, council, thank you for allowing me to join this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
I'm trying to find you those, ma'am. I'll have to get you those.
One of the
numbers.
things this also does in addition, currently the city of Everman has 4 different contracts with OpenGov the company. So this will consolidate all those onto one contract, making it a lot easier to do business wise.
Excellent.
I'm going to share my screen real quick and try to explain.
So the 4 accounts, is that 47,000 or is that?
Yes, sir. It's everything combined into
Okay.
one. So everything from the court software to the financial software, the reporting and transparency as well, which is great for citizens, allows a lot more citizen engagement. And then in addition, there's some new software that's included as well, like new budgeting and planning software, which will save a lot of staff time and streamline that process. And publish a much more engaging final budget document for citizens.
That's great.
And I think one of the things that council liked the most was the fact that you'll have access.
Yes.
So you'll be able to
yes.
log in and you'll have your customized home screen where you can track what's most important to you, whether it be animal control, sales tax.
Tailor the reports.
All those will be tailored totally to you and what you prefer. So on the screen that I'm sharing, and I know that's really small print on that tiny screen. Let me zoom in here.
Thank you.
They are for the services rendered from March 1st to September 30th. They're discounting that $14,216, which looks like we've already paid. Off that, coming to the total for this year, the $129,500. The additional cost going forward will be the $48,032 a year.
Yeah.
For continued services.
Right.
Now, I will tell you that we will be able, if council wishes, to alleviate some pressure on the budget over the next couple of years, and we could certainly consider that when we look to allocate funds next year from ARPA, and we can allocate more funds from ARPA to pay for these subscriptions.
In the next couple of years, we will be able to do that.
Yes.
That's great. Yeah, because that $5,000 over our budget that we have is not going to cover that.
Any questions?
No, it sounds great.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew.
Looking forward to that.
Was no
Sorry.
You said hello, and I was like, oh.
There's no other discussion. Would you poll the council?
Place one,
Aye.
place two,
Aye.
place three,
Aye.
place four,
Aye.
place five,
Aye.
place six,
Aye.
mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Next item, item B, approve fiscal year 2022 comprehensive financial management policy, item 22077. I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve item 22077 as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Poll the council.
Place one,
Aye.
place two,
Aye.
place three,
Aye.
place four,
Aye.
place five,
Aye.
place six,
Aye.
mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Item C, approve the allocation of $3,200 of court technology funds for the procurement of electronic signature pads and a computer tablet for the Everman Municipal Court, item 22078.
I
Make a
move-
motion to approve item 22078.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Poll the council.
Place one,
Aye.
place two,
Aye.
place three,
Aye.
place four,
Aye.
place five,
Aye.
place six,
Aye.
mayor,
Aye. Item D, approve DIR contract number DIR-TELLE-CTSA-003, attachment F1, Verizon Wireless Customer Agreement, and authorize the city manager to execute all associated documents, item 22080.
I move we approve item 22080 as
Second.
read.
Second.
Second, okay, motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
There's no adverse budget impact on this. There's no change in fees or anything, but annually the state of Texas updates various DIR contracts. This is the updated one. So for us to continue our agreement with Verizon Wireless, we must execute the DIR contract.
Okay, is this for cell phones or what?
Yes, this is for all wireless connectivity. So we have cell phones and air cards throughout both police, fire, and animal control.
Is there, as far as wireless for I guess the community or whatever, do any funds apply to that? Are there any funds available to apply for the internet for residents?
So are you talking about like for connectivity for residents, like programs?
yes.
Yes, and the library actually pushes that out quite a bit. There are, I'm trying to remember the name of the program, but there is a county program that's available out there to residents where they can apply for wireless connectivities, particularly for hotspots and internet access. And I know, I will get that information from Billy because I know he pushes it out quite a bit over there at the library. We can get that to you.
Okay, is there a way that could possibly go out in the water bill or something like that?
I will
for
make that.
For a resident?
Yes, ma'am, I will make that note.
Or the newsletter. It'd have more information in the newsletter.
Any other questions or comments? Poll the council.
Place one,
Aye.
place two,
Aye.
place three,
Aye.
place four,
Aye.
place five,
Aye.
place six,
Aye.
mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Item E, approve interlocal agreement between the city of Everman, Texas and the city of Kennedale, Texas for rabies control and the shared use of the city of Everman Animal Shelter, item 22081.
I'll make a motion, we approve item 22081.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Poll the council.
Place one,
Aye.
place two,
Aye.
place three,
Aye.
place four,
Aye.
place five,
Aye.
place six,
Aye.
mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Item 9, executive session. We don't have anything. Item 10, city manager's report.
I did just want to provide an update on the Civic Center. The Civic Center is moving along very quickly. Everything else is moving along very quickly. We are still running into some delays with the fire suppression system. The company contracted to do that fire suppression system has yet to get the plans submitted to us for review. Those plans have to be reviewed by the city engineer, the fire marshal, and our director of public works to be signed off. I will tell you that it is going to require a 6-inch line that goes in there, a static line that'll connect here off of Ray Street, but we have yet to get those plans. So we're still waiting on those plans. I'm hoping that that doesn't delay this project anymore. As long as there's no more delays on the project, we are told that April 1st, the facility should be open and ready for use by then. So we will continue to monitor that and look to schedule a grand opening there and ribbon cutting as early as we possibly can, once we know what the final date is. But all of that hinges on the fire suppression system and what the capabilities are there. Other than that,
The project on Columbine,
I'm sorry.
that was supposed to be finished, I think, at the end of January. Could you tell the status on that, please?
Columbine water well.
Water well, their screen settings have been approved. I'm not sure. What was the date you said?
I thought it was the end of January.
I can't remember when that started, but it may be either fast, like you think, like you say, or it could be real close.
Yeah, last I knew they were very close to completing, but I will find out, ma'am, and I'll get that information to you. And then the last thing is that the mayor, myself, and Gilbert met with Commissioner Brooks following the citizen complaints we received on Christopher Drive. And we are now working with Commissioner Brooks's office and Precinct 1 to have emergency repairs and a reconstruction of Christopher Drive done. His staff is already working on working up those cost estimates and things for us to let us know. I haven't received word back yet, but there may be some funding available to do that outside of our funds. So
What were their complaints?
the major potholes and things that came up after
In the
the
middle of the road, there's some major potholes.
route. Yeah, it's very bad through there. The commissioner saw it himself and he agreed it needed to be addressed very quickly.
Very dangerous if you're on a motorcycle.
Yeah, they're looking to add that onto their calendar for this year as quickly as possible to try to get it addressed. That'll be the first thing that we address to resolve those complaints and issues.
Is there any update on when they will be striping for like the Shelby for the road?
No, ma'am, I submit that to Fort Worth and I
Okay, Fort Worth.
very rarely get a response back from them, but I will try that again and find out. Is Glenn? Oh, Glenn's not even here. Glenn asked me the same question a couple times a year if I hear that, because it's right in front of Baxter Junior High as well. So I will find out.
Thank you.
So back on the Civic Center,
Yes, ma'am.
we're gonna have a 6-inch line put in there for the fire suppression, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we gonna have to dig up any part of the parking lot to
No,
get that
ma'am.
line in there?
No, that line will run parallel to the concrete that's already in there. If you notice, they have not poured concrete all the way to the fence line yet on this side. There will eventually be concrete that goes all the way to the fence line here for additional parking. That area is still left vacant because they also have to still put in electrical conduit underground and things as well.
Okay.
So that area is still spaced. There won't be any
Okay.
damage or any patchwork of any kind there at the
Where are
facility.
you gonna put the sign?
Right here on the corner, right in front.
Is it gonna be, as we're driving down the road, can we see it from both sides?
It's going to be angled about 45 degrees because remember, this will be turned into a one-way northbound.
Mhm,
Hopefully in the very near future, once we get pretty close to construction being done with that.
okay.
So it'll be angled at 45 degrees. So people in the parking lot and the park can see the sign on the backside and people driving up Ray Street will be able
Okay,
to see
good.
the sign.
Good. I
there's
didn't
no
wanna waste the
obstructions.
sign.
Yeah, there's no obstructions there with the exception of the mailbox that's currently over there. However, Mike Nicoletti is working with the US Postal Service right now to have that mailbox moved because it's in a horrible location on the wrong side of the road. And all the time we get cars that pull over on the wrong side of the road, drop their mail.
Don't use that mailbox. I put 2 letters in there and it took 2 months for one of them and 6 months for the other one. Don't use it.
I believe it.
I'm not kidding. you.
Wow.
I believe it.
Don't, and they had checks in it,
Mayor, that's all.
money.
Okay, that's all Craig has. Only thing I have for mayor's report is February 22nd at 2 p.m. Hughley's doing a groundbreaking for a new building. So I know I'm going. I think Craig was contemplating going.
Yes, sir. I'll be there.
What are they gonna
So-
put in it?
Don't know. The information
What
doesn't
day of
say.
the week
It's
is
it's a
that?
medical building,
What time?
2:00.
222s.
So February 22nd of 22.
I think that's a Tuesday,
2
isn't it?
p.m. Thursday.
Yeah, it is.
Tuesday or Thursday.
Tuesday.
If council is
Second
planning
day of the
to,
week.
if council is planning to attend, just please let Mindy know so we can make sure it's posted, so we're legal in case there's a
Yes.
quorum there. And then also the flag ceremony as well. If any other council members plan on attending the Homo flag ceremony, I need to know that so we can
Yes.
post that.
It's a flag
March
retirement
4th.
ceremony. We're very excited about this.
Yeah, and that's on.
March 4th.
March 4th, yes. At 2 PM. There's at 2.
Yes.
But-
March 4th.
March 4th,
What is?
the flag retirement ceremony at Hummel Elementary.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's all I have. So with that being said, we are adjourned. It is 7:15.
Excellent. Okay, who gets this W9?
I'll take it.